I know it got a little spicy. We going live right now. Like we just like popped up out of nowhere with a live, but yo, this get lifted. 30 is a new 20. Yo, we in the building. You know what I mean? We definitely here. Yeah, I'm behind the scenes. You can just see the hat.
You want to do the roll call?
Yeah, we just gonna go around, yo.
No, I'm talking about the black roll call. The black hooty hoo. When you let everybody know we need your assistance. Go to catwalk.
Oh, what the hell? Oh yeah. Yeah, just in case, man. We have an incident like in Alabama or something.
Got a chair on stand for.
Yo, but we here, man. You know, get lifted. 30 is a new 20 cash. Yo, we in the building. It's my birthday tomorrow.
Happy birthday, you.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Yo, I'm calling it the 38 special, man. You know what I mean? Like the snub nose. I'm calling it that because
on the move like I need a new hobby. Fuck a 9 to 5.
No, I'm not asking you that. I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. You know, the 38 special. So
holla if you're here, man.
I'm an old ass nigga now. I feel like, you know what I mean, I made it for a long time. Let's see if I can hit another milestone. You know what I mean? That's the goal. You know, to have any.
Look at the screen.
Yo, on the screen, I can't see it, but on the screen, it's the advertisement for the movie. Oh, that's funny as fuck. Talking about that. I'm gonna put that in the clip. I'm gonna put that in the clip.
And you said universe and walking
universe
popped up right after the civil.
It's crazy as fuck. Like,
that's crazy.
Yo,
just reading our minds.
When you get to a certain age, yo, we was talking about that too. We could tap in on that. We was talking about that, how the government probably has some algorithm set up.
Probably.
That has suggestions because of them invading our civil rights, our privacy. Let's talk about that. But we wanted to start. We was having a conversation in the car on the way up here, and we was talking about if you got like a chick that you dealing with, and you be honest with her and tell her, yo, I want to be with other joints, but I still care about you. I still want you to be in my pocket. You good with that? Is that cool? And we talk about that transparency, like a woman saying, yo, she would accept it. Some women would, some women won't. Most women won't probably. But let's talk about that. I think we probably did touch on this before, but the conversation we was having in the car was kind of deep, so we wanted to tap in on that.
Let's speak on it now.
For real, yeah. Well, what? Yeah. You going in on it.
So, if I don't lie, should it be accepted better than a blatant lie? Because a lot of times we lie to get, like men, we lie to get ourselves out of, jams and shit. Because we don't want to tell you, oh, okay, we were fucking with another female.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we don't want to lose you either.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So at the end of the day,
that's selfish.
If we're dating, right? If I'm in the dating phase, right?
Dating
and my qualifications for dating is I can date whoever I want. If I'm single, they all go under a trial period, which is 2 to 3 months.
Right.
So in that 2 to 3 months, it's not, I'm not singling you out as the only person I'm dating. Why? Because I don't know you.
Right.
And I feel like it should take 1 to 3 months to get to know somebody.
Right, you vetted them.
I wouldn't even call it like that. I would just say that you're putting them through a trial period to see if this person is worth it.
Vetting.
I mean, vetting sounds more animal shit. Like we're talking humans.
No, because you thinking about that. Vetting is like a trial period. It's like trying it out.
Like for lunch, that's not vet for like you're thinking vet like
animals.
Veterinarian.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
No, that's not. That's a different word.
Or like veterans? What are we talking about?
No, it means that. Like, it means what he said. Like, you're trying, it's like a trial period. Like, they vet you for a job, you're in a 90-day probation period. Like, that's what it means. Like, just to find to make sure you're
trial and error type of shit.
yeah,
Like,
to make sure you're the right fit.
We'll start using that word so nobody gets like, nah, I'm just vetting you.
yeah.
They were like,
VETTED.
They're not gonna like that. The feminists not gonna like that.
Vetting VETTING.
Nigga out here vetting bitches.
You gotta vet them, man.
I think
That sounds crazy.
I think that I agree that if you're not together, I don't know, some women probably will be like, oh, once we, or if they don't have sex until you're together, or if, then they'll be like, they don't have sex unless we're together. But then some chicks be like, oh, when we have sex, now we're together. Like, you're just making up shit in your head. Because you didn't have, and they'll say that, but they didn't say it to the dude. That's just how they think. So that's delusion. Because if you didn't have a conversation and you say, oh, once we had, and tell him, that's how you feel. Like, if I give you this viscous energy, then, then now we go together, like, no. I don't believe that. I think if you're I don't wait until like, oh, we're in a relationship. Like, I don't know if I like you, I'll wait, but
doesn't it
a
depend?
commitment.
Like, what if it's really, really good? And you know, like, damn, I don't want to do this for anybody else. This person pleases me better than anybody else.
Yeah, but it's not up to only me to determine if we're going to be.
So you gonna say
in a
right after
relationship.
sex, or are you gonna be like, stop, hold it, before you go any further? I love you, and I want to make sure you're just the person that I'm like. When do you decide, like, yo, let me have this conversation? Is it beforehand?
Yeah, this is the thing, and this is a couple different things that I want to touch on, because you talked about honesty. Here's the thing. I appreciate honesty from a guy. I would appreciate if they said, oh, I'm not looking for a relationship right now, or whatever. They're not going to say I'm just trying to touch, but they would say, I'm not looking for
I'm just vetting you. How would you feel if the nigga say he's just vetting you?
Because vetting means that you're doing that to find a relationship. If you say you're not looking for a relationship, I would take that as you're just trying to fuck. But at least you're being honest, and then that leaves me the opportunity to decide if I still want to let you do that or not, or if I want to move on because I want something more. Now, there are some guys that will lie and say that they're doing what they want to build and all that or whatever, but they don't really want to do that.
Which is better, the dude that says he's vetting you, or the dude that says he's not looking for a relationship? Which do you think is better?
I want you to be honest. That's what I was getting at.
Mm-hmm.
So you're giving me the decision to decide. Like, if you said you just want to, there are some, they might just want to smash too.
But that's honestly either way. If you're saying that you're going to be better.
No, because you didn't let me finish. I said there are some guys that will say that they want to build, they're looking for a relationship, but they just want to smash. But they'll say that and act like that's what they're trying to do up until a point, and then they'll keep fucking you, but now this is no longer you lie. Like, you were just saying that because it sounds good. I would want you to be honest. Like, we just said about telling the truth. I already think that when I'm dealing with someone, if we're not committed or whatever, but we're dating or whatever, I already assume that you're dealing with other people. If I just met you, there was someone else in the picture before I got here. So I don't even think that's a conversation that needs to be had about that you're sleeping with other women, because I'm going to assume that anyway. But I do want you to voice we're going to have a conversation about your intentions, and I would appreciate it if you would be honest and say, I don't want a relationship, or if you do say you want to really mean that and keep it a buck. Because most of the guys that I've dealt with have lied and said, oh, I want to build and this and that. But when the ones that were honest and said, I'm not looking for that right now, I'm just figuring stuff out, I'm not ready for that, or whatever what it was, I appreciated that more. And and I have had conversations with guys where we was not in a relationship, and they told me, like, I I do have other friends or whatever. They, you know, I never got no disease or nothing like that. But that's another thing. I appreciate that honesty because you're letting me know. So then I can't be like, oh, you're this or you're that, you're a fuck boy, you're this or that, because if I chose to continue to deal with you after you tell me that, then that's on me now. Like, but I also think if you know that I think you should walk away too. If you see that the woman is getting too, and she's more into you or whatever, and you know that's not what you want, I think because she probably not gonna start fucking with you unless you start fucking with her. I think you should have the wherewithal to be like, nah, I shouldn't do this, and just let it go, and don't do that when you see she getting too. Because some women will, like, they don't want. So a woman could like you so much or care about you so much, even if it's not committed, and will let you basically do whatever just because she want to keep you in her life. And if you know that you're hurting her and stuff like that, and you don't feel like that, then I don't think the guy should continue. But like I said, she has to take some accountability if he was honest and you chose to say you can't be like, oh, this fucking asshole, I fucking hate you, blah, 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 and all that, or whatever, when you did it to yourself. He told you up front that he wasn't trying to be serious, and you also need to pay attention, because if a dude's saying he is trying to build, but he's not, his actions ain't aligning with that, you need to have a conversation about that and figure out why it's not adding up. It might be another reason, or he might just be lying and he just wanna, he just wanna keep, if anybody is having sex with a dude, if they're getting the viscous innards, especially if they enjoy it, and you keep giving it to them, whether they want to be with you or not, they're gonna keep giving it to you. So you need to use discernment. They're gonna keep taking it if you're gonna keep giving it to them. So you need to use discernment to decide. And if you're not able to deal with that, then be honest with yourself and let it go, because you deserve better. So.
I respect that, but honesty aside, what do you think is more valuable? A man that's saying that, yo, I'm basically vetting you.
But vetting for
for the intention of getting married. He's saying it like, I'm gonna vet you.
Yeah, because you should.
So you might not
know you're picking the right person.
But it's not gonna be. So basically,
no guarantee.
He's basically saying that you're gonna be competing with other women.
But right. If we're not together yet, right? This is what you're saying. We're dating and we're getting to that point, but this is what you're saying, right? I'm saying that y'all just started talking. And he's like, so, yo, like I said, I already understand. That's not something that I
that's just one side of the spectrum. Or the dude that's saying, I'm not looking for a relationship, I just want to have sex. What is more valuable out of those two?
Like I said before, I already expect a guy to be dealing with someone when I meet them or whatever, so in the back of my mind, regardless of what he say, even if he said, I'm only messing with you and whatever, I don't believe that shit. You look good if I'm dealing with you. So you're probably messing with somebody else. So you could say whatever you want, and I'm not gonna believe that. I'm not gonna say that to you, but in the back of my mind, I know it's someone else. But I would want to be with that person. So I would want the guy that wants to build, as opposed to, like, I don't think nobody really wants to just, that's what I said, no woman most of the time wants to just
coming up here? Yeah.
Wants to just get smashed. Yeah, and there's water. No woman most of the time doesn't want to just get smashed and don't want it to go nowhere. When women do end up like just doing that, just having sex for fun, or just, with no intention and don't care, is because they've been traumatized so much from past relationships and they don't have any expectations anymore. So they're not worried about being disappointed or anything like that. They're like, it is what it is, whatever happens, happens. They don't even care no more when they get to that point where they're just smashing people, or maybe they're just young and they don't, whatever, they haven't gotten to the point where they feel like they're ready to settle down, but I still, or it could be like trauma, maybe they were sexually assaulted when they were young, so they become very promiscuous as a result of that. But most of the time, if a woman's sleeping with a guy, she wants to be with him. So, yeah, they would want the guy that wants to be with them other than the guy that is just trying to smash. Because that's what they want. Unless that's all, like, I don't know, some people read it, unless that's all you're trying to do. But like I said, when a woman is at that point, she's either young and she don't know no better, or hasn't been taught properly, or has some type of trauma, and that's why she's like, fuck it, I don't care no more. I'm just gonna live my life, like, and if they don't, I don't have no, you've been disappointed so much, nobody can disappoint you no more, so you don't have no expectations, you don't care really, like, if they do, you just be waiting for the other shoe to drop, like, cause you don't believe that it could be, that you could find that.
Alright, for both of y'all, I can't answer half of this question because I already got kids. But for you, Erika, is it, what's the age that you feel like if you're not married by this age, I'm not gonna be married? And what's the age if you're like, if I don't have kids by this age, I'm not having kids? And for you, Smiley, same question. Well, you obviously can't have kids, but you no.
Alright.
Who will go first?
The age that I want to have kids, because I want a family. So because I don't want to just have a child and do it by myself or co-parent. I want to at least be together when it happens. I don't really, to me, marriage is not, I'm more focused on a healthy relationship. Whether because there are people that are in long-term relationships and that just works for them and they've been together for years. Some people's relationships last longer than marriages. I think people focus so much on the marriage aspect of it. Like, I've seen a lot of people go into debt paying for a wedding, and then they not even married for a year or after a few years, or they stay together but they're miserable. They can't stand each other. They stay together just because of the kids. I don't want that type. I want to be with someone that I really want to be with, and they feel the same way about me, and we're just in tune with each other, and everybody can see. It's not just us. Like, people see us together, they're like, "Oh, you're so cute." Like, everybody feels our love when we're with each other. Like, I want some real shit, and I don't know. I'm not putting at this point. That's not something that I really. I feel like I never really thought about that. I think for me, I think it's the person. Like, those thoughts don't cross my mind until I'm with someone that makes me feel like this is what I want to do. But I'm not gonna propose to no dude. They're gonna propose to me. So if I meet somebody and then I don't think there's no, for kids, I don't know, because. So
what you're saying is it's subjective. Like, you'll get married at 100 if that person asks you.
Because I'm not necessarily looking for a marriage. I'm looking for a person to be with. So, like, I have felt like that before, but like I said, it's the person. Like, somebody brings that out, because before that, I never felt like, I was never a girl that would be like, I can't wait till I get married, and I bought my dress already, and I know, like, some women dream about that, and that's never, like, I think that's how it should be. It should be because when you focus so much on the marriage part, then you kind of lose sight of I think so many people focus on being married and just that title or a relationship in general, that they're just trying to be in a relationship just so that they're not lonely. And that's not what I want. I want, like I said, what I said in the beginning, my person that's perfect for me. And I don't think I asked for a lot. Like, most of the things that most women want, like 6 figures, 6 feet, all that, I don't care about that. If you attracted to me, which is subjective because I've dealt with people that I thought looked good, they looked good to me, or good enough, I was attracted to them. And someone else, like, thought that they were ugly. So I don't care what nobody else think about what they look like. If I'm attracted to you and you're stable, that's not a dollar amount on it. Like, at least you're making an average income, I said, but you're stable. You're able to take care of yourself and provide for yourself. I don't mind working. If you are able to take care of me and pay the bills, that's all well and good. That's a bonus, but that's not an expectation that I have. I don't care how tall you are, as long as you're not a midget, like a literal midget. And I just want someone that I connect with, and I think that's more important than all that other stuff because, like, obviously you need to have a job that's stable, but like, because when you have a connection with someone, you're willing to work hard. You're gonna go harder when you're going through tough times and shit happens. You're gonna work harder to stay with that person. And then as if it's just someone that you picked up just because you're tired of being alone. Like, I don't want that.
All right, so
And I think a lot of
second
people
part.
do that nowadays, or are together for the wrong reason.
What if it's a dude that you like and you're fucking with him for a little bit, but he's ready to have kids? What do you say to him? Do you say, nah, wait? Do you say,
I would
"Alright,
like to
fuck
have kids, but I don't want to just have them. Like, so if we're together, we need to be together.
But
If
how
he's saying
long?
that it don't have to be a time because, well, like,
That's
what you
that's what
said.
I'm saying. What if
I don't
y'all
have
was
like
together for
like dating, like
3
you said,
weeks?
you gotta date. You gotta date what you said at
You
least
gotta
3 or
vet.
4.
You gotta vet 'em.
No, but you do gotta do that. I do do that. You
do.
gotta make sure that that's the right person. You gotta meet the qualifications.
But that's a
But-
individual vet though, because you're not vetting him compared with anybody else. You're just vetting him to
He just
make
have
sure.
to have the qualities.
Exactly.
Like I said, stable. I'm attracted to you, like physically, and you need to be, and I need to feel protected, like safe with you, and I need to feel a connection, like, because I think you could. I don't know. People think like, oh, connection, whatever, but you have a connection with your friends.
Have you ever
Like,
felt
just
that
your
on
friends.
site though?
Yes, that's you can't make. It's either there or it's not. Like, you know, that's why you're friends with certain people, because you connect with them on a certain level.
Right.
I want that in a relationship too, because it's like some people are just boring, and I'm talking about. I'm not even just talking about in a romantic sense. Like, some people are just
In
boring
life,
ass people, and there's some people that you just not. You're friends with certain people for a reason, because you have common interests. You have certain beliefs or whatever. There's reason why people are in your life and why you kept them there, and why you deal with them, why you want to be around them. They, you know, and you click with that person. That's something that happens instantly. Like in the movie or something, then you look at somebody and you look in like your eye. It sounds like a joke, but that shit be really happening. Like, you look at somebody and be like, oh, like your eyes,
Like the
that
first
shit.
time you heard the Beatles.
Huh? Like the first time you heard the Beatles?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it really, that shit really happened. Like, it sounds funny, but it do.
No.
But people don't look for, they ignore that shit cause you could tell when somebody don't like you like that. You could tell when, like, it's nothing like
tension
you
in
trying,
the
but
room.
you could tell, you could feel all that shit. That's energy. So you could feel when somebody, and just because you could connect with someone, but that still might not, they might not, I don't know. You could connect with someone, and that don't mean that that's your person too, because they both have to. They just because I feel like people could have a connection, but also people would ignore that. They might want different things. They might want you to look a certain way. So because you don't, they might ignore that, and they might be with somebody because they look better, but they don't have nothing else. They don't. They don't. They just because they look so good, they're like, oh, about that, but it ain't even really nothing there. But they're so. Or for a woman, it could be like, oh, you have money, but they don't really like you. They just like, he got money or whatever, like a bird bitch or whatever, and then that's all they focused on. But you could, like, and guys ignore that too. Like, if a chick you don't have to chase the chick. If she's into you, Like, you're gonna know she's into you. You're not gonna have, she gonna answer the phone when you call. You're not gonna have to be blowing her up and vice versa. Dudes be kind of, but you still could tell. Even if, cause some dudes will be like, some dudes know that they ain't shit. So they might kind of hold back or not give, cause they be like, I know that you don't deserve, you're too good for me or something like that. Like, what I'm gonna put you through, cause I'm so fucked up, you should just, like, but you could feel, like, people could try to pretend like, oh, I don't care about this, or I don't, but you could see when certain things happen, somebody bothered by something, if it do affect them, if you know that person, you can feel the energy, but they might not say that, cause they know they have no right. You don't wanna commit, or whatever the case, but, like I said, I think if you have those things, a connection, I'm attractive, I feel protected, and you're stable, then that's all I really care about, and I think that's what could make that happen. And if I'm in a relationship with someone, I was already dealing with them for, I think a couple months is not long enough to really be like, oh, you want to be in a relationship. To me, like 3 months, I think it would take, to me, I would need longer. I would need maybe like a year before unless if you said this, but I feel like when guys be doing that too quick, sometimes guys will make you their girl just so they can smash. Or they'll say like, oh, you want to be my girl? Like, nigga, I just met you. I feel like that'd be sometime it'd be too quick. Like, I wouldn't mind waiting like a year or something and dating you for a year at least before we commit and say we're in a relationship. Because I really want to get to know everything about you. I want to get to see you in certain situations, see how you react in certain situations. And you need to see that about me and see if you can handle that. You need to see us in different seasons, because then you get in a relationship too quick and now you get put in a situation that you never experienced with this person and you can't handle how they're reacting to that situation. Like, I was watching the Joe Budden's podcast, and Melissa Ford was like, she was dating a guy, she had been dating him. They wasn't together though, they were just dating, and he didn't even live in up here. I think he lived in another country or something. I think he was from the UK, I think. But she's from Canada, but she lives in here. But like, she was dating him for like 8 months, I think she said, 6 months, I don't know. But her mom got sick. I think that's a short time, and they wasn't together either. They were dating. She said they were talking consistently. They expressed that they both, were feeling each other. She thought they were on the same page, that they could be headed towards something, that they were getting serious, but they weren't committed yet. He kind of ghosted her because that's a lot. Like, he probably was still, again, she didn't want to believe that, because that's what the dudes up there try to tell her, Ish and what's the other guy name? They were trying to tell her, like, that's not that long. He probably had other chicks that he was messing with. He didn't tell you that. He probably did want to be with you or whatever, but he still wasn't done getting them, telling them, all right, this is who I'm, and y'all wasn't together. Or maybe, I don't know if they was together or not, but the point is, it was still early on. So she was like, he ghosted her, like, after her mom got sick or whatever, he kind of like, she slowly saw him distance himself, and then he like ghosted her or whatever. And her mom ended up dying. But that's heavy, what they were saying to her. Like, it's too soon, kind of, for that. And sometimes people can't express themselves and just be like, this is a lot for me to deal with. This is still early, and I don't know how to be there for you during this time. And then you don't know what else he got going on. And that's a big commitment to make, or, a lot to go through with someone when that early in the relationship, especially for a dude. Like, a woman could be deeper into it before a guy is, even though he might want to be with you and might see a future, he ain't in his mind get to that point yet, but he could see it happening. She already there. And although he said whatever he said, oh, I'm not dealing with nobody else, I'm only, and this is what they were saying to her, she was like, no. He said this, and that, and they're like, but generally, that's not how he with a man, especially that early on. So he probably didn't feel like he owed her no explanation. It was early enough for him to back out. It is kind of messed up, and that's why, again, why women have trauma and they don't have explanation. Because they was talking about that with her because one of the guys was like, oh, I feel like you don't have no like you cut dudes off so quick, like you don't even care, like you just be like whatever and you just move on. And she was like, yeah, because when niggas do this is how stuff like this happens or whatever, so at a certain point you don't have no tolerance for the bullshit. Like you be like, all right, you do one thing, all right, that's it. You don't even get into it. You don't expect anything of it. You expect the disappointment is what you expect. So you train your mind to not get disappointed. You just forgive it and go on. And that's the point she got into from dealing with trauma or being hurt in relationships. Like you develop a defense mechanism to protect yourself, cause that's what. So, but I got on topic. But yeah, if they said they want to have kids once you're in a relationship, I feel like I'm older. The guys that I talk to are older than me. I don't usually talk to people my own age, so they should, like, if we're in a relationship and they said I wouldn't be in a relationship with them if I didn't feel like this is who I want to be with. And at this point, I feel like I'm ready to have kids. I feel like I would be a good mom because I've grown a lot over the years and getting over bad habits or trying to. I know things that I need to work on, and I think that I would be. But yeah, so if you saying that, then yeah, I would at this point in my life. But I probably, if I don't have a kid by the time I am, I don't know, probably 35. If I don't have one, then I don't. But who knows, if I meet someone and I'm still, because they say, oh, high risk pregnancy, but I know a lot of people that done had kids and their kids are fine, that done had kids when they were older. So that do happen in like 39, 38, 30. They said high risk is 34, but yeah, that may be true, but that don't happen to everybody. A lot of people have kids.
34?
Yeah, for a woman.
For real?
My homegirl just had a beautiful baby girl.
At how old?
She 39.
Yeah.
39?
That's what I'm saying. And my mother, when she had Mo, she was like 38 or so. And I know a lot of other people that have, and they're celebrities that have kids older than that. How old is Halle Berry? And so and naturally, I don't know what she did, but these are the regular people. They did it naturally. They didn't have in vitro or none of that. So yeah, that is true. There is high risk, but that doesn't apply to everybody. If you're a healthy person and you're taking care of yourself, like, and everything, then you should still do, because even when guys get older, their sperm count starts to lower. But some guys, they still having kids. Al Pacino it's not the same age as women, but they do, their sperm count begins to decrease. But you could also be infertile for different reasons. Like, you could be younger and have lower sperm count because your boxers are too tight. Or you wearing tight. I've watched a documentary and said, like, if you're wearing tight, yeah. But I like those them boy shorts. What you call? That's what they call them,
the
tight.
Hanes?
I don't know. They don't have to be Hanes. They're like tight, but they're boxer.
Boxer briefs.
Yeah, those are so.
Yeah, boxer briefs is cool as long as they let you hang.
Yeah, I think those are so cute on that. But I digress. But yeah, I would like to have. Whatever. Here, go ahead. I know I was long-winded. I'm sorry.
Yo,
Dwayne fell asleep.
back on topic, just to answer the question. I think I want to have a child probably by 45. The latest that I would have a child is probably late 60s. I want to go after 70.
Yeah, I don't think you should
Late
wait
60s.
that old too.
If
much.
I do it after 70,
Yeah,
then whenever
You're gonna be
it's
like
starting to
15.
get really crazy, like reason for me to do it at that age. But if I'm like fucking
You know how black niggas get
78 and I'm in the best shape of my life, hell yeah.
Old spit
I don't think you
or
should
old
wait.
shit.
But
For a great
I want to definitely by 45.
40, yeah, I think 40.
then
For marriage.
the latest, like I said, latest would be
Oh,
late.
my
And
God.
it really
10 years.
it really depends on the person. Like if it's that late, then that person gotta be like
old ass
fucking
married now.
that person. Like, you know what I mean? So
I ain't gonna be no old
if
ass
it's
nigga
like
married.
fucking
I'll do it after 45 or so.
this badass chick that just wanna have my kids, I'll pull a Dr. Sadie and then be like, fuck.
You see what I mean?
You
If it's a badass chick.
know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, come
But
on,
if I'm like I said, if I'm out of shape or
you
something,
just try to breathe.
whatever. At the end of the day, it's just how I feel. At the end of the day, however I feel. I'm just gonna knock one
At
out
least
the
the
park.
best looking one, right?
Albert
I
Poole.
was about to say in the caravan with
But
some
yeah,
black
I wanted to keep it brief though. I'm trying to make sure that we get through the other topics without the fucking
We got the melee.
This
Huh?
is extreme circumstances.
What happened?
No, I said I'm trying to get through the other topics before the batteries now.
Yeah, nigga, it's about to be 11 too.
Right. Well, what was the other topic?
Let's see.
The other topic was
Black Mirror.
no.
Like, Mary was crazy.
Yo, you know what's crazy? We could talk about
Hell yeah. Let's talk about it.
it.
Can I speak on Black Mirror?
Let me say something real quick.
Go ahead, bro.
There was an episode of Black Mirror with I think his name is Anthony Mackie.
Nigga, that shit was crazy, bro. I didn't want to speak about that one. That's the
Yo.
only one I did like.
Before we
I'm
get
watching
into this new AI technology, Black
I'm watching
Mirror,
my dick this way.
I want to say that this episode
Yes,
was
it is.
Wasn't really
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The whole episode was watching my dick.
crazy.
The whole
And
episode
yo,
was watching my dick.
you think this dude like, oh yo, this is the craziest new tech. You could play a fighting game and he could be the female and he could do stuff to himself and feel it because of certain shots and certain
They
little
always got
little
shit
feelings in
put
certain
the-
parts of your body and you could feel it from the game into your mind.
American God.
Yo,
You gotta watch it.
that
Exactly.
was the wildest episode I ever saw.
I watched it too.
And then my sister told me about this new crazy episode. But then I thought about that. I was like, yo, this is before I stopped watching Black Mirror. Like the first episode was crazy. What was the first episode? He had to have sex with a pig or something.
I don't remember.
What?
The senator had to have sex with a pig.
Oh yeah, or he got caught having sex with a pig
Or
some shit like
not
that.
the senator,
I
you
know
know,
what
whatever
you're
the
talking
England
Yeah.
guy is.
Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister, there you go, the Prime Minister. I'm the Prime Minister, I had to have sex with a pig, bro.
I don't remember that.
Oh,
That shit was crazy.
I heard that shit. He got humility. He
Oh, well, I got told I wasn't supposed to be asking about. Well, yeah, what you wanted to say about Black Mirror?
Oh, that's what he said.
Let's talk about the episode where I think it's the newer season, and it was like a guy and his black girlfriend, and they were doing like a documentary on some. I forgot what they were doing. It was like some legend in their town or some shit like that, and then it turns out that the dude's mother was part of the legend. She was like a killer or some shit like that, and he left to do some research and some shit, and left the girlfriend at the crib, and then the girlfriend was going through all the evidence, and she ends up finding out that the mother.
Oh, don't tell me, because I didn't finish that episode.
Oh yeah.
I mean, well, go.
That shit was crazy. That shit was crazy. I think like shows like that let you know that like first
Well,
off,
I guess you could say, go ahead.
first off, AI is crazy. AI is crazy. Like there was one episode where a dude basically he got to record things in his eyes or some shit like that. Like he recorded, like people could record moments and like save them and watch them later type shit. And fucking his girlfriend ended up cheating on him, and then he confronted the boyfriend, and the boyfriend had to show him because he had a gun. So the boyfriend had to show him him cheating on the dude's girl, and this shit was crazy.
I didn't see that one.
That shit was crazy. That was in the earlier ones. That shit was crazy. Black Mirror just goes to show AI is the devil, yo. AI is the devil, yo. Like, it has to be. Like, if there is a fucking antichrist, it would be AI, because AI could do everything that the antichrist could do. Everybody goes on the internet. Everybody goes on you know what I'm saying? We all go on Google. Like, they know we know, nigga. They know we know, nigga.
So, an episode I wanted to talk about Black Mirror too, because that's a great show. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. It's on Netflix. There was this episode called Joan is Awful. And this lady worked at this she worked at a company, a streaming service or whatever, like in the office, called Streamberry. It was supposed to be like Netflix. Like the way that it come on is like Netflix. It's like or whatever, but it's Streamberry. And one day she came home and she's sitting with her boyfriend and she's like, what you want to watch? And they're like, I don't know, they doing Netflix and chill. And they turn on the TV and then they say Joan is awful, and they're like, what is that? And the person on the thumbnail is Salma Hayek, but it looks just like Joan. Like she got the same hairstyle. That's the lady's name. That's like watching TV with her man. Her name is Joan, right? And then the thumbnail looks it's Salma Hayek, but it looks just like Joan. Her hair color. She got a two-tone hair color. One side, half of it is brown. The other side is blonde. And then she looked just like her. And then the show is called Joan is Awful. So they like, what the fuck is this or whatever. So then he like, let's watch that. She was like, she told him to put something else on, but he put it on. Then the joint started playing. It's showing everything that happened during her day that day. Like literally everything that happened before she came in the house and sat down on the couch with her man is happening. Like she just fired this lady earlier today, this morning, because she's like a manager or something at her job, and she had to fire somebody. That shit come on, the exact conversation that she had with the lady, somebody that looked like her playing the girl that she fired. Then they added an extra part in there that she didn't say some racist shit or something, because the lady was white and the chick that she fired was, or maybe it wasn't racist. I don't want to say that because I don't remember exactly what she said, but some slick comment that she really didn't say. All she did, she just was mad nonchalant about it. She was like, I'm sorry, this is what they told me to do. And she was like, but I invited you to my housewarming, because she's like, you can't do this to me. Excuse me. She was like, you can't do this to me. I just put down a deposit for an apartment or whatever. And then she was like, I'm sorry. This is out of my hands. They're telling me to do it or whatever. And then she's like, I invited you to my housewarming. And she was like, I'm sorry. Then the girl started acting crazy or whatever. And then the guy come in and was like, I'm here to escort you out. And the girl told me down and she left. But this all happened that's what happened in the morning. Everything that happened that day happened. So now it's getting up to the point, so the dude is texting, so her ex-boyfriend was texting her. That is on there too. Like, that happened during her day. So but she's like, what the hell? They sitting there like, what the hell is going on? Like, how is this? This is crazy. Like, this is really what happened. She was like, turn this off. What is this? So then when the text message, now by this point she realized this is her life. So now she's seeing the text, but she's like, turn it off. Because she knows she texting him back or whatever. So she's like, turn it off. And he's like, no, did you? She was like, this is fake. This is not true. Just turn it off. Just, or whatever. Like, he was like, no. But anyway, the point is, it's crazy. She goes to the office, to her job. They were about to fire her. Well, they did fire her, actually, because they was like, you released some information or whatever on the show. Because everybody else was watching it, too. Like, all her co-workers and the people, they was watching it all at the same time. So then she came to work the next day, they told her she was fired. And everybody was looking at her, and they were like, calm down. Because they seen it all. They knew that it was like, calm down. Like, don't, well, she was like, did everybody see it? And she was like, I don't even know what's going on, or whatever. She was like, fired you, or whatever. She was like, but I didn't do that. And then they were like, we have to let you go, I'm sorry, or whatever. Because they were like, she released some private information or some shit. So then she said, I'm going to sue you. This is the crazy part, because I feel like they could really do this to us and nobody would know. Check this out. So she goes to the people, she goes to talk to HR or whatever, and she's like, how can they do this? Because, mind you, she works at the place that's streaming. This is a streaming service called StreamYard. She works at the office, but it's an application where you can watch movies and stuff or whatever. So she goes down to HR, and she was like, how can they do this? I'm gonna sue you guys or blah 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 whatever. And then she was like, you can't sue us. And then she was like, why not? She was like, because on Section 55,
You sound right there.
you agreed to the terms and conditions. She's like, I never agreed to that. She's like, yes, you did. Section 55 that says that we can use your likeness and put you on the show or whatever, and you agreed to it when you downloaded the application. So that means not just her. She worked at the company, which is even worse because she worked there. But anybody that downloads that app, they could do that to you. That's basically like nobody reads the terms. Yeah, nobody reads the terms and conditions. This could happen to us. They could do that. So she's like, and how do they even know what was going on? This is happening in real time, like everything that happens throughout the day. And she was like, you know, when you put your phone down and you're like, hey, honey, do you want me to buy you those new Jordans? I'm just making an example. I don't remember what she said, but something like that. Like, hey, honey, you want me to buy you those new Jordans? He's like, yeah, you know my size, right? He's like, yeah, whatever. And then you pick up your phone and you go on Instagram and then you see an ad for Jordans and you didn't search it up or anything. So you're just been listening? She's like, yeah, that's in there too. That we can record you.
And that is in there. That is in there. They have control of the microphones that.
Yeah, they said, can we have access to your microphone? Can we have access to your contacts? Can we have access to your camera? Like, so, and we agree to it. So maybe they're not doing it now, but if they want to, they can literally do that and do some shit. I feel like they be making these shows for a reason. I'm about to delete all my streaming services, all my social media, but they already got enough information probably to be able to get something like that. That's scary.
Is not going to do anything to their algorithm. It's already in the system.
Yeah, that's what I said. They probably already have.
Think about it though. Like I don't know. I know me and Smiley for sure. Me and Smiley for sure got like all types of given and received, all type of pictures of filth and and good times, but like these kids don't have that no more because as soon as they do something, it's on the internet.
And they could take it and put it on the internet because they got access to your camera.
We're going to put it. We're going to put it on Google Drive. We're going to try to hide it on Google Drive.
If it's over with, you don't need it no more. Do you be watching that when you're by yourself?
Yes, 100%. I watch
the old people.
Flicks.
Do you miss them?
Yes. I missed them lustfully. Yes. Yes.
So why you
100%.
ain't gonna get them cheap?
Because I have the pictures and the motherfucking
Oh, so
video.
you just can use their likeness
yeah.
like string bearer. You're on the podcast.
Live.
Get lifted.
Get lifted. 40, 30 is the new 28.
No.
Interrupt the shit. I'll call him back.
Yo.
I'll call him later.
Who is it?
That was him.
Oh.
Yo, yeah. Black Mirror is
Crazy.
It's so
Fire.
it is fire. It's so suggestive. Yo, like a lot of the episodes, like some of the episodes they were talking about, including with AI. I was saying earlier, there's disadvantages and advantages with that. The disadvantages with AI are more or less the way that it can manipulate, and it could probably slander, and it could probably market
Bro, that's where they're trying to go.
your likeness without you getting compensated for it.
They're trying to live forever in the system.
But the advantage.
Oh yeah, because they said
The
this. She
advantage
said
is for somebody
was-
that has
Remember that
limited capital
AI shit that turned
to
into
be able to
it started
profit
from
for
like a
something
monkey
that
and then
comes
it
up
turned
with their
into
likeness.
like vines and
Possibly
cables
use
and
it
shit.
as a form of advertising.
It was like an AI. It
Marketing
was like
strategy.
AI simulation
like, in
of
the
what
business
AI
world,
thought that
AI
mankind would go
is
up
an
to.
awesome tool.
And we went from like
But
monkeys to
it definitely
fucking
has its
cable
disadvantages
cords
and its
fucking
advantages.
listening system.
But being
It's crazy.
a marketing tool though, is awesome. It's an awesome nuance in tech and in the business realm. The only major issue in the advantage is that you have to do trial and error, which can waste time and capital. So you don't want to really like overdo that, cause I've entertained the idea of using it before, and I have used it, but you have to be very specific because it's an artificial intelligence. So you have to basically think about what you really don't want it to do ahead of it doing what you really want it to do, because it'll only do what you tell it.
Not if it's artificial intelligence. nigga.
Well, you program it. It's a computer. So it's like you
It's
have to
all
put
that thinks
you have
for
to put
itself.
the shit into it. Yeah,
That
but
thinks
you
for
but it
itself,
starts
not what you put.
it's
what it
it's
thought
based off of
itself.
it's based off of an algorithm. So you have to create
Your
something
mind
for it
is
to
based
start,
off of an algorithm.
and it has several
And think of how
variables
powerful your
of different
mind is.
possibilities.
Bro, they're
But it's a
trying-
calculator.
They're trying to turn us into that, bro. 100%. All the niggas that got the jab got Bluetooth.
It's gonna be
They got a Bluetooth signal too.
it's gonna be those
Damn,
it's,
dog.
it's gonna be those what's like fucking iRobot. You gonna have motherfuckers that's working with you, gonna be working with robots.
they already do. They put teachers.
That's crazy. Cause imagine your math teacher is fucking C3PO.
They got robots doing surgery.
The robots in the Stop and
Or
Shop.
computers, like
That
Yeah.
they
shit
could
scared the
be
fuck out of my
it's
daughter, yo.
someone in
Motherfuckers
another
bumping
country
into the
controlling
backs
it,
and
like
shit.
a doctor is doing the
At
surgery.
Stop and Shop.
Cause I used to work at Medtronics, and I used to make like medical instruments,
And
like
that's
for
more
surgery.
precise. Robots know coordinates.
I'll hold you. AI is
But they have
It's a
big
change.
fucking
it's a change that
malfunction.
a lot of people have a right to be afraid of, because that means that it's something, it's another kind of another organism, right?
And we don't have no rights to our likeness.
And then it's gonna kind of coexist with us. So would it be competition?
But we can't take
And he
that.
said yes.
Yo, Will
It
I
would be
Am
competition.
said some real shit. He said, we don't have, Will I Am from the Black Eyed Peas, he posted a clip on Instagram, and he was like, well, I seen a clip on Instagram, and he was like, we don't own our likeness. Like, they could take as celebrity, or they could do it to anyone really, because all they gotta do is say it's not yours. We don't have no license for our face or our, like, cause they didn't take a picture of you, like, they have the data, you agreed to, and that probably is in the terms and condition, like, they could probably use a regular person face too, and do, and make videos with it, or make you think, or whatever, and they've done AI songs with Beyonce and other people, and that's crazy, and it sounds just like her, you wouldn't even know the difference, but she probably ain't even getting nothing off that.
There's a AI Drake album that sounds just like him.
Yeah, like, it's crazy, but he was like, but we don't own our face, but we can't use this Nike suit.
Exactly.
And that ain't even, that's just a symbol. That ain't even, no, but we don't
So you
own
gotta
our own
get-
face.
You gotta
This
get
is a
copyright for
part-
your likeness.
You gotta
But
get the
is
mark of
there a
the beast,
thing? There's
which
nothing.
is the barcode. And y'all motherfuckers gonna get the barcode trying to get into the metaverse. Oh, we can't buy nothing because we gotta depend on the metaverse.
There was an episode up there, and they said they do this, and I don't remember if it's China or Japan. Like, they have social currency. So, like, everybody has, like, they get points on stuff.
On their popularity. Yeah, I watched that
So
one too.
every time they interact with somebody, they could give them a rating. Every time you go to a store and you interact with the
Shit like The Sims and shit.
yeah, they give you a score. You see somebody in the elevator when you're going to work, like, hey, how are
Get
you?
some emojis.
And then every interaction you have, so some people have 4.2 stars. Some people have 1 point, that's low or whatever. Like, so I guess 5 is like what you want to go for. I don't know what's the limit or whatever. But it was this lady, and everything goes by that. You get a traffic violation, everything in the world that you do. If people have a bad interaction with you, and they could give you a bad score and lower it or whatever. So, because if a lot of people keep giving it, that's how people get a 1, and then they'll lock you up if you get a 0 or whatever. So it's crazy. So she wants to move into a new apartment. She's living with her brother. They have an apartment together, I guess, or whatever. So she's like obsessed because she's like, because the apartment that she wants is like a nice apartment or whatever. They went and showed her a hologram of it. It was like, yeah, we customized it just for you. Look, and there was a man in the hologram. She was like, he doesn't come with the house though. And then it's like, oh, like they were like making out instead of a hologram, but like of her and a black dude. She was white, and she was like,
we know she died.
yeah. So she was like, oh, she was like, all right, I think I want this, and she was like, oh, this is the price, and then she showed her, I don't know what the price was, or whatever. She was like, oh, and then she was like, we do have a program where you could get like 20% off or something. And then she was like, no, because first she was like, how much do I have to pay this? And she was like, every week, this is what you have to pay a week or whatever. And then she's like, so then she's like, we do have a program where you can get like 20% off. And she was like, okay. She was like, but you have to have at least a 4.5 to be a part of this program to get the 20% off. And she had like a 4.2. So she was like, oh, I'm sorry. She was like, all right, I'll give it. I'm a well, I don't think she said it to her. She just left. And then she went and talked to, like, I don't know, an accountant or something, like, that helps you with how you could boost your score or whatever. Like, I guess it's like your credit. Like, I don't know. So she's like, I really want to get this and blah, 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 and I don't know what to do because I want to get this apartment and I need a 4.5. He was like, oh, well, you got to get your social interaction. A lot of the people that you interact with are the guy, the barista, or someone in the elevator or whatever. They're all low status people or whatever that are like 3.5s and below. You need to interact with higher score people, and then when they rate you, then it'll boost your score because you're getting it from higher people. So he was like, okay. So then she got herself hooked up with this lady that she went to high school with that used to bully her, and she had a wedding coming up, and she was like a 4.
How many points she got? She got 4 points.
She never went to it. It was a whole disaster.
Oh my
like,
god. That
it
shit
was
was so fucking funny.
she tried. She ended up
This
getting
was
locked
Black Mirror?
up. Yeah. She ended up getting locked up by the end of this episode. She lost all her points because it was like a whole disaster.
And she took a shit in the wedding, yo. She was wild. She said,
She took a damn.
yeah, she said, you want to rate this? Rate this? Oh, yeah,
Because she lost it.
She lost all of her points, and she was like, fuck it. I'm going to go out like a G. Wow. That shit was crazy.
Because she actually came and crashed the wedding because
She was
the
freaking.
girl uninvited her because her scores kept going down because she went to the first, she was supposed to go to the wedding. The
It's
flight
like that
got
movie with
canceled.
Ryan Reynolds.
She was supposed to go to the wedding, right? She was on her way. First, no, she went to go get the flight. They canceled her flight or something. I don't know. I forgot what happened, but they canceled the flight. So she was like, oh, I need another flight to go to Monty, someplace. I don't remember. I forgot where it was at. It was an island or something.
She had to drive and some shit.
Yeah. So she lost points at the airport because she started bugging out because it was like she was like, you don't have no other flights, so how can you? He was like, oh yeah, we do have one.
But she don't have enough points.
Yeah. So she was,
This is crazy.
but she was supposed to be the maid of honor. She was supposed to give a speech, right? But this girl didn't even really fuck with her like that. Like she just was. It was both.
She
They were
should've
just
dubbed
trying
her
to
ass.
use each
For
other,
real, for
really.
real,
Yeah,
yeah.
she shouldn't even went. But she was so wanted to get her score up or whatever. So then she started cursing him out. She's like, what the fuck? Because the lady was like, I'm sorry, I can't. These are the rules. And then she was like, what the fuck? I just want to fucking get on. Like, she was just cussing her out. So then she was like, oh. And then the people in the line, they gave her low points or whatever. Like, all the people in the line, and then the lady at the register. And she called security, too. So security was like, oh, we're going to deduct you a full point. So she's out of 4. It's not like they're going to take it. The 4 point, she is 4 point, I don't know. She had lost some points already. So they were like, we're going to bring you down to 3.85 or whatever. And she was like, no. And he was like, it's temporary. The whole will be released. It's really like credit. Like, it's temporary. Once you get it, like in 24 hours or something, the whole will be released if no other incidents happen or whatever. So she was like, no, you can't do this to me. If you say anything else, basically, that's what he said. If you say anything else, you're gonna deduct some more points or whatever. And like, I'm not trying to argue with you, basically. Like, shut up. So then she ain't say nothing. So then she went to go get a rental. Her points was low, so she couldn't get like no lube shit or whatever. So it was straight what she had though. It was an electric car. So then, but it was in like another language. Like when she got in the car, it was speaking Japanese or something. I don't know. Like, and she didn't know how to do nothing, like turn it on. So she got it started or whatever. And then she was driving, and then it was like, you need gas. So she go to the gas station, her car is old, so they gotta have an adapter to charge it or whatever, because it's an electric car. She go in the gas station, she like, you have an adapter? He's like, no. He's like, you better ask around, like there's other people charging their car or whatever. But and then she gave him 5 points because now she's trying to be real nice, being all fake to everybody. She was being fake to that girl that invited her too. She didn't even really like that girl. That girl was mean to her, but just so she could go to the wedding because she knew it would help boost her points or whatever. So then she can't find an adapter. So she don't got no car. And the wedding, she's supposed to be the maid of honor, and she's supposed to come to the dinner like before or whatever. So she about to be, so the girl, so I don't know. So this lady picked her up in a truck. Well, she lost points for that. The guy at the gas station just gave her a 2 or whatever. And she was like, why? What was that for? And he was like, cause it wasn't a meaningful interaction. Like, all you did was ask, did I have an adapter? And like, you know, and then she asked all the other people, nobody had one. So then she was hitchhiking. People was lowering her points because she was hitchhiking, because she was standing out there with her thumb up. She's like, I'm not even doing anything. And then you just hear her phone going, do.
That's how people judge you in real, like, they see you out there,
and
like,
nobody
he
picks
home.
her up. So then a lady picks her up. She started walking. Then this lady was driving a truck. She was like a 1.8 or whatever. She was like a truck driver. And she was like, do you need a ride? And she was like, no, I'm okay. Because she was a 1.8. Like, bitch, you walking, you was just hitchhiking. You better get your ass
probably a 1.8 now.
Right. Right. And she was still like a 2 point something. Or whatever. So she's like, she was like, I'm not gonna bite or whatever. I know I'm a 1.8, but I don't. So she ended up getting in the car or whatever, and she talked to her. She was like, I used to care about all these sports and stuff, but now it doesn't matter to me, like, or whatever. Cause her husband died, he had cancer, and his score wasn't high enough
to get the treatment.
so he died. Imagine that, yo.
And it is like that, though. It's money. Your money ain't high enough, so you die.
John
Like,
Q.
It is like that. That's what's up.
So she goes to the wedding.
Or that movie Repo Man.
Yeah.
Forrest Whitaker.
But and then so the girl disinvited her from the wedding, right? And she lied and told these girls like they were going to some concert that was near there. So because after the lady drove her so far in the truck, and then she was like, I'm going east now, so you know this is as far as I can take you. She's like, all right, so. She lied to the girl. She's like, oh, it's like some type of like Comic-Con or something. They all dressed up and stuff, but it's in the same place where the wedding is at. So she's like, oh, you guys are going to that? My friend has the costume. Like, let's go. Oh, come on. And she's lying her ass off. She don't even know what they're talking about or what, but she heard them talking in the bathroom, and she knows that it's close to, it's where she needs to go or whatever. So they like, yeah, there's some room in the van or whatever. So they were like, what's your favorite character or whatever? And she was like, she heard her talking and she said the name Lieutenant somebody. He was like, he's really great. And he was like, he? And he was like, she was like, she, da 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 da. And he was like, Lieutenant whatever doesn't have a gender or whatever. And then so they knew she kind of was lying. Then her phone was ringing and a friend disinvited her. Well, the girl that really wasn't her friend. She was like, so she had a whole argument with her on the phone. She was like, hey, you better not come. She was like, I don't know what's been going on with you. Okay. First, when I first invited you, you were 4.2. Now you a 2.8. I can't have a 2.8 that far away. And she went through all that or whatever. Like, she was like, no, you can't do this. I can still say my speech. She was like, no, don't come. Please don't come or whatever. Like, She was like, you didn't. She was like, so it's just about a score to you? She was like, it was for you too. You know them good, the scores for the people here that'll help you. They're 4.5 and above or whatever. Like, so they think.
Not discrimination.
So she was like, she's like, I'm coming to the wedding or whatever. She was like, don't come or whatever. So she hang up where the girl's looking at her now. She in these people van and she don't lie to them. And now they hear where she really supposed to be going. So then she's like, I don't know who the fuck I don't know anything about your fucking show. And then they kicked her out. So now she don't got a ride again. But she's still going to the wedding. So she asked this guy, because she used his motorcycle. She ran over a bump and fell off the bike into some mud or something. So she had dirt all over. She still put her bridesmaid dress on. She missed the wedding. Okay. But she came and when the husband was talking, no, the wedding, the ceremony was over, but he was talking, and she was like, she came there, and then the girl told her husband, like, oh God, don't let her or get her or whatever. She went up there, she snuck up there and took the microphone, like she tried to creep. But everybody was looking at her because she was all dirty, but she had the dress on. She had dirt, like, because she fell in the mud. And she just kept going, like she had her suitcase with her, she put the dress on or whatever, but she had dirt on her face and her neck and stuff because she had fell in the mud, so she looked crazy or whatever. So then she go up and her hair was all looking crazy because she gets up there and she trying to tell a speech and they trying to stop her, but she keeps slowly moving away because she see the guy trying to come. But then she just embarrassed herself and everybody gave her no point or whatever, and then she got arrested. And then she was screaming and yelling at this guy across the hall for her. He said, I don't like your brassiere. But she took her shirt up. Like, I guess he was in the cell too. They have men and women together, but he was across from her. Like, she was looking through the bar. Then they just started yelling and screaming at each other and it went off. Like, that part was stupid. But imagine that, like, in a world like that, if you cut somebody off or you run a red light, if someone doesn't like you because for whatever reason they're just jealous or they don't think your interaction was meaningful, they can ruin your life. Literally, you have to walk on eggshells, and even if you do that, it might not be good enough. What would it be like in a world like that where we're scored on our social interactions? Like, and I heard that this happened. This is in Japan, like they put a chip. This wasn't a chip. She was just doing this on the phone.
It'd be like
but
social
like,
media.
they said that they doing that. I think in either in China or Japan. I don't remember which one, but they said they put chips in people and they get scores that they're doing that. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's accurate or not.
I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know if this is racist, but I heard like illegals are like the most like mechanical of the human beings. Like they're more like mechanical in how they do things. I don't know like if that equates to them being so good at math. But I just feel like, you know, every species or every race of human being have their own unique design that they come with. Like Asians are usually really smart when you think about Asians. Black people are really strong when you think about black people.
Such a disaster.
Even Russians are really strong when you think about like Russians as a whole and shit. Like they're champions.
You're so good at math. You always use your thinker. She said they good at math, but for the last mile and a half, you ain't turned off your blinker. Because she said they don't know how to drive. Wow. That was all Wild and Out. That was in like the first season, Naima. I think her name Naima Funk. She was talking about it. I don't know what was that. You look better with the lights, no. No, it was the other team was singing that. I like the older seasons better than now. I don't
Yeah, 'cause
like
they
how
had Cat Williams on the older season. They had Corey Holcomb on the older season.
Not even just that, the way that
Michael Blackson.
the way that they did the show was different. Like I don't like how the sequence is, or the way they play the games is different. It's a different dynamic.
Probably a little bit more PC now.
Not really. They be mad racist.
Oh, damn.
Like they be saying all the time. That's why I don't understand how they canceled him for that when he said that quote unquote anti-Semitic comments. If you watch Wild
Because
and
they're
Out,
not talking about no Jews.
but if you watch Wild and Out, they say racist shit about each other. Up
Yeah,
there, black,
'cause-
white, Asian, whoever's on the show, if they doing
Nah,
a wild
Jews.
style battle, they be saying they've had people up here that were they be saying stuff because they pick on whatever it's a battle. So when they say that, somebody always saying something about the other culture, whoever they going against. That
I bet you that Jew episode was light. I bet you that shit was light. Oh, I bet you cheat. I bet you that shit was light. It was light work. It was not. If Azalea Banks had put voodoo on their ass, allegedly, then you think they gonna sit here and put dirt on the Jewish? What?
how do you think? What would you think it would be like if the world was like with the points?
Ooh. I think it would be just like Instagram, but like I think it would be so
Cause that's what
fake.
it was. You could just see it popping up.
You could
She's
see
checking her
just-
stars.
You can see just by of her lifestyle and how she judged the lady. Ooh,
What is it?
it's a moth or some shit.
Well, that's fine. I mean, it's not.
How she judged the lady like that was trying to give her a ride. Like she's not for you, lady.
Right.
If you was sitting here talking
Like,
all
I
this
don't-
shit, you're
right.
already a 2. You know what I'm saying? And your friend didn't even want you to come after you made a phone call. Like that just goes to show how egotistical that world would be. Like I would hate that.
Yeah, the nerve of you,
I
the
would be-
audacity to be judging her. She trying to help your ass with nobody. She trying to help your ass with nobody else was stopping
Nobody
you.
else
People
stopped.
gave you a low score
And she
just
gonna
because you was
pick up her nose to
hitchhiking.
that bitch. I hate
She
shit
was like,
that.
I don't bite. I
The
know
world-
I'm a 1.8.
The
But
world will be trash. The world will be trash, bro. Like, fuck that shit.
Shit, like, yeah, like, that shit would be crazy. But I know, like, if motherfuckers had like points for like doing shit, it would be a video game. So I would thrive in that shit. I'd be doing mad shit. I'd be delivering papers. I'd be doing all types of shit. I'd be doing whatever I gotta do to get my little points. I'd get like 40 points a day. But that shit would be crazy. It'd be a challenge. It'd be another challenge in life.
can't get 40 points if it's dependent on.
Other people.
What's the criteria? Like,
You gotta kiss ass, nigga.
Because, and then that still might not work.
Exactly.
Like, it's anybody. If you in the elevator with somebody, if you pass somebody in the street, if you run a red light, if somebody walk in front of your car, but they wrong, they might be wrong because the light green, but they walk in front of your car and you have to stop short, almost hit them. They might be like, motherfucker, or whatever, and they
Yeah.
give you
Oh yeah, I might,
1 star.
I might give you
Or you might have road rage and keep going.
Erika.
Because if it just randomly happens, like they don't give us time, like it's like, okay, everybody, they make it a broadcast, a national broadcast, or excuse me, or whatever on the news, and then they say, now commencing the new scoring or social whatever.
That sounds like a hungry
Huh?
Sound like the Hunger Games or some shit.
Yeah,
It is.
like, it is.
It is the Hunger Games.
Survival.
Yeah, because you have,
Shit
what's your
crazy.
things called?
But yo, that was a
Section.
crazy topic. Went really deep. But yo, this is another episode, man. Had an awesome evening. Awesome topics. And we'll be here, man. Let's get lifted. 30th and 20. Every Sunday. And we out. Listen.